Good morning. How is everybody today? Hello there. It's nice to have you here. Oh, that's interesting that didn't show up though. Hang on. Let me just... Hello, Vova. Nice to have you back. That is interesting. That it's not showing up. Oh yeah, there it is. Alright, it just took a little bit of time to get going. Alright. Alright. So, in my last stream, we made this little rough animation. And here's the thing. Hi Dreamwatcher, nice to have you back. So we made this, and I think it's good, but I asked my family for some feedback, and they pointed out something, and I agree with them honestly. It's a little tame, you know. I feel like if I'm gonna go through all this work into making an animation like this, I should make it a little more interesting to watch. So I'm gonna have him have a little bit more energy as he comes in, and turns around. I reckon the end there is actually pretty good though. But anyway, I re-recorded the scratch audio, so I'm just gonna import that now. Hello class, I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name's Mr. Oh, you do that. You do that. I might need to adjust some of the timing now. My name's Mr. Oh. Mr. Oh. Mr. Oh. You do that. Hello class. Alright, here we go. Gonna get rid of all of these. Just gonna save a new version so I don't lose any work. Hello Lysias, nice to have you here, and Vuk, nice to have you back. Alright, let's get going. Open up bref again. I should really save my my reference file so I don't have to keep re-importing the same image into my bref. And I go to there we go. Okay. So I reckon he'll be looking like this. Whenever I use my tablet on this software, it just snaps back to the full view. I need to use my mouse only. Alright, there we go. Installed bref after last stream and I liked it. Oh, that's nice to hear. Nice to see more open source software being used. Yeah. Hi Mike. Nice to have you here. Seems to be a little bit big. I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? Is this for a personal project? Yes, so I'm just doing a little animation using the rig that I made just over the last few streams. And the rig's going to be part of a tutorial, but then I want to make an animation just to, just to show it off. YouTube hath broken and is randomly playing Britney Spears' Circus song over and over. Hello, been following your stream videos. So feels nice to check to check you out live. How are you doing? I'm doing well. I'm glad that you that you're here. I'm glad that you are able to catch a live stream. It's nice. Insert a blank keyframe, and then on. Alright, here we go. Alright. I think that's just a little bit more dynamic, and I'm pretty happy with that. Let's get back into the rigged version. You're earlier than expected. Yeah, I was I realized yesterday that I was only able to do like 2 hours for the stream, and then at the end it was like later in the day than I wanted it to be. So I decided let's start a little earlier. Opacity modifier and transparency filter basically do the same thing, only filter has less control of. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the filters or the effects. I think they're still good. I don't know, I don't use them as often. You know what I should do? I should make a split. Whoa, that is not what I wanted to do. No, bring it back. No, this is not what I wanted. If I could join right. Okay, now I've flipped them. Is there a way to flip them back? Swap areas. That's what I wanted. Okay. Let me try that again. If I do a vertical split. Okay. I'm gonna have this one always over here with the turnaround. Meanwhile, this one I'll be a bit more free flowing. That way I don't have to zoom in and out as much. I can just switch areas. Oh, I've missed a lot. Right. Good morning, Zara. Nice to have you here. Hey there, how's it going? It's going well. Yeah, I think I'm slowly making some good progress. What is that? That's... I'm just going to go back into the character view. And I need to actually turn it on though. Okay. Is it this one? No, I'm looking for this one. I'm going to copy this. No, I'm going to draw a new one. Hello, Lavash Zone Gun. Nice to have you here. I'm glad you could make it. Grease pencil textured brushes are fun. Yes, they are. I haven't actually played around with textured brushes a lot, but they are pretty cool. Sketchy Squirrel, you made two action editors right in front of me, and I still don't know how you did that. Okay, so if you just in the corner of any window, whoa, let me undo that. If you just right click on the join, you can go join. You can like merge areas, or you can right click and you can go vertical split, and then you can change what this one is. So in that case, I just made a 3D viewport, and then you can right click on the join and press join again. So I hope that helps. Timeline on the top reminded me of Adobe Animate UI from an MLP rig tutorial video. I don't know what MLP rig is, but yeah, no, I think I have seen people working with in Adobe Animate with the timeline off to the side or on the top. Yeah. Great to have you in Spitfire's Discord, by the way. Feel free to share your stuff there as well. All right. Will do. Absolutely. It seems like a really welcoming community. How many hand poses do your rigs have on average? Less than they should, probably. For this, because this is such a simple animation, I've kind of just done the hand poses I need for the turnaround, and then I'm just redrawing them as I need them. I probably should have more though. I probably should have some more default poses. And I've just been trying to think of a way that I can easily switch between like pre-drawn poses without taking away the ability to easily draw new ones. So like right now I was talking to with this to my dad the other day, and yeah, it does feel a bit clunky to have to go in, find the pose here, copy it, and paste it to the frame that I want. When like in previous rigs, I just use a time offset modifier, and I could just have a slider that would just choose between all these predefined drawings. But then that really restricts your ability to draw new hands, which is, yeah, it's frustrating. If anyone has a solution to that, please let me know. You're really inspiring me to stick with my project. Oh, thank you, Level 99. I really appreciate that. Honestly, I probably would have given up on this project if I wasn't live streaming. So I thank you guys for helping me stick to my project as well. MLP is My Little Pony was G4T. What was cutteth out animation? Yeah, right. So that would have been done in Adobe Animate. I use time offset to animate lip sync on my characters. Yeah, no, I do too. I think in the In my last video, I did like some fan art for the TV show that I worked on, and at the end I did a little animation, and I was kind of doing the some experiments with this style of rigging, and yeah, I basically didn't use time offset modifiers for anything except for the mouth because I was like, no, I'd rather limit my ability to draw new mouths and be able to quickly lip sync it. Um, yeah. Have you thought any more about tutoring one on one? No, I have. I haven't really thought about it. It might be a good idea while I'm unemployed, but I don't know. I still feel like I've still got imposter syndrome, thinking what have I got to teach anyone on an individual basis? Like at least when I'm putting videos out online, it's like people can disregard what I'm saying, but I don't know. I feel like it's different when with like a tutoring type situation. Nice to have you here. Nature's a nice guy. Um, do your parents understand this stuff? I feel like a big geek when I'm trying to explain my struggles in animation to any of my family members. Yeah, I'm really lucky in that my family's been really supportive of animation, and specifically my dad has really put an effort into learning things with me. So so even though he's not an animator, but he knows a lot of what he knows what I'm saying when I'm talking about it. Um, and then also my sister, she's picked up a lot of things as as my career's developed. 10 Thistle, what you doing? I'm just animating my character. He's a professor. If I just go into the workspace, I go into rendered view. You can see. Oh, I'm just gonna disable the actual character. This is what we're animating. So that's just a little thing that we're doing. All right. Hi all. Hello, John. Nice to have you here. Avnix, how doth smears in greaseth pencil. Actually, that's pretty easy, especially with the this sorry, with this character, I've been developing a new method of rigging that allows me to kind of mix very simple uh, bone animation and then anything that doesn't allow, I'll just use I'll just either redraw the grease pencil things or warp it or that sort of thing. So it's actually really easy to add a smear frame by just selecting the grease pencil object, going into sculpt mode, and just making it look how you want, you know? Or if that doesn't look good, you can use the, let me just make sure that it's visible for you guys. In the grease pencil tools add-on, you can just use box deform, and then that creates like a temporary lattice, and that can allow you to do a smear frame. Please, lol, I would love to schedule something with you. All right, I'll definitely give it some thought. I might talk with my family about it, see what. Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure something out, maybe. Out of out the problem about the problem you mentioned. Did you by chance mean something like in Toon Boom Harmony where they have drawings gallery to choose from? Yes, that's exactly what I want. It's so annoying. Like basically, yeah, in Toon Boom, the timeline that switches between drawings on along the timeline in Toon Boom, when a drawing object switches from one frame to another, the actual keyframe doesn't contain the drawing information. It just points to a library of drawings that exist in that object. And whereas in Blender, when you create a new keyframe, that keyframe is the drawing rather than just pointing to the drawing. And that just makes it just limits it so much. I don't know. That's so cool. How fortunate to have such a supportive family. Thanks. Yeah, it is. It's nice. It's amazing. Zarniv, I'm not convinced your sister has picked that much up. Lol. That's my sister. No, you've definitely learned stuff along the way. Yeah, my parents are also quite supportive. It just sometimes feels like I'm speaking alien explaining this stuff. Yeah, not so much with my mum, but I can see she puts in a lot of effort to understand. Yeah, that's really nice to know that that they don't just support you, but that they're like actually trying to understand it as well. Is it possible to do everything you need to do to create an animation in just Blender, or is it key to have some knowledge in another program as well to succeed in animation? I wouldn't worry too much about software. Like, for example, yeah, I keep mentioning it, so you're probably aware. But at the beginning of last year, I got a job working on a TV show, and we were using Toon Boom Harmony, and I had never used Toon Boom Harmony before, but it really didn't take long for me to learn it, you know. And in fact, by the end, I was kind of regularly helping other animators with like the rigging, the node system, and that sort of thing, and just like problem solving. So I just wouldn't worry too much about trying to learn all the different software. But I also just wouldn't, don't limit yourself to Blender. You know, like sometimes another tool will just do something better. For example, I could have done the when I was designing this character, I could have done the turnaround in Blender, but I chose to do it in Krita, just because I don't know, I felt more comfortable doing that with a raster based image. Um, Or how did you tilt the view? Oh, okay, this is cool. I think it's actually just part of the Grease Pencil Tools add-on. So just make sure that you enable that. And then you press Control Alt and then just the middle mouse, like regular navigation tool, and you can spin around. And then with the Grease Pencil Tools open again, you can press Reset Rotation, and it resets you. I feel like I'm falling behind. Toon Boom Gallery question would be nice for Spitfire's chat. Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I should mention it. See if there's any solutions or an add-on out there. Um, Even OpenToons, which is open source, has something similar. Yeah, and I think the reason for that is because both Toon Boom and OpenToons were just trying to adapt the same workflow of traditional animation with pencil and paper over to a digital workflow. And of course, with pencil and paper, you basically had this X sheet, or like you had this plan or timeline of which drawing is on which frame. And if you ever wanted to go back to a drawing you'd used before, you'd just write in the name of that drawing. And then when you're taking photos of the drawings, you just find that drawing and put it in place. And so they just tried to transfer that process over to the software. And so you had this separation between the keyframes and the drawings themselves. But then Blender didn't really come from that perspective. They were like, oh, we're starting with a 3D software that, and actually the beginning of Grease Pencil was actually an annotation tool. So just to like draw notes over a 3D model or something. And then they adapted that into what it is today. And so it just comes from a different perspective. And so, yeah, it just doesn't have that feature. I personally tend to try and help people with stuff like that and figuring out solutions and such problems. Yeah. It's so, I don't know, there's something so addictive to problem solving and helping other people. I don't know, it's so nice. Um, that will change in Grease Pencil in the future. It's in the devs' plans to make the drawings different from the keyframes. Oh, that's good to know. I hadn't heard about that. But that is honestly going to be huge. I reckon that's going to be, I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited. Because just with this style of animation, it means rather than having to choose between switching between easily, sorry, rather than having to choose between the workflow where you switch between pre-drawn hand poses really quickly and having to copy and paste hand-drawn poses and then have the ability to draw new ones easily. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but yeah, I'm really excited for that. Does anyone know what might cause... Does anyone know what might cause for my costume texture brushes in Asset Browser to have textures work in some files but not work in other files? Yeah, no, I got no idea. So hopefully someone else will have. I'm just not familiar with the Asset Browser or textures, but hopefully someone else will know it, have come across that problem. When is it better to use a mouse or a tablet? That's a good question. I think I'm kind of lucky because I'm left-handed, but then I use my mouse with my right hand, and so I just like to switch between them pretty regularly, just so that I don't get I don't like cause injury, you know. So I'm always switching between my left and my right hand because of that. But yeah, I'd just say definitely anything that's drawing, use a tablet. And then other than that, you know, you might, aside from that, you can use either one. So much is happening in Grease Pencil. It's becoming its own thing almost. Yeah, I think it's really exciting to see more and more people use it in like professional productions. I think, I mean, it kind of seems like the Blender team looked at that annotation tool that they'd made, and they thought, you know, this could be actually a 2D animation tool, and then they made it, and then all these studios picked it up, and they were like, oh, actually, okay, this is people want this, so they just kept pushing it, To the point that, yeah, exactly. It's almost like it's its own software, but within Blender. Um, Yes, in their plan to make Grease Pencil 3 overhaul. I know that I thought Grease Pencil 3 was out. Like I know that they in Blender 4.3 they've they've like rewritten Grease Pencil, but I guess they've still got more plans for changes. Oh, look, come to Spitfire Discord. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. They'll probably be in a better place to answer that question about the textures. Um, I hope next update will return curve editing. Yeah, I remember curve editing. I was really excited for that, but then I realized it was kind of different than what I was expecting. And so in the end, I never actually used it that much, but I think it is a useful tool. It'd be nice to have it back. I feel like a door-to-door salesman for Spitfire Discord. Yeah, but no, it seems like a good place. Um, yes, it's out, but not fully out. Right? Okay. Right now, they've done just they've just okay. So they've just rebuilt what was in Grease Pencil 2, and now they're in a better place to start adding new features. Okay, that makes sense. Hello to everyone. Hello, Valerie. Nice to have you back. Grease Pencil 3 is out, but they limited the amount of features to the bare minimum for now to focus on optimizing the new system. Yeah, that makes sense. It's like if we're gonna rewrite the entire system, let's keep it simple first to get it really good, and then we can add new things. Uh, do you do the animation part in the action editor or the dope sheet or in Grease Pencil? I've been using the dope sheet for two reasons. Well, actually, really for one reason. So in Blender at the moment, and maybe they're going to change this when Grease Pencil 3 is finished, and I hope they do. But at the moment, Grease Pencil keyframes aren't stored in actions in the same way that keyframes are for bones, and so it means that and then also I can't select Grease Pencil keyframes in the action editor. So I've been using the Dobe sheet for this just because then I can select the Grease Pencil keyframes along with the bones keyframes, and then also it doesn't really help to be in a specific action if all the Grease Pencil keyframes are going to be the same anyway. Um, I don't know what is draw company polymer. You can do the Toon Boom trick of swapping drawings with the time offset modifier. You can draw new ones too. Just put it to fixed frame. I usually put it to fixed frame, and I know it's not impossible to add new drawings. It's just kind of a pain because you kind of have to go, like, if you have all your pre-drawn drawings at the beginning, then you have to go back there to draw your new frame rather than just drawing it on the frame that you want it on. Animation system is also in the process of a rewrite, so they might be figuring out what to do with that and how they might pair it with Grease Pencil ideology. Yeah, I think I heard something about how they're trying to make the NLA editor not needed by just making actions able to contain information for multiple objects and that sort of thing. And so I'm really hoping that that includes Grease Pencil keyframes. Been having so much fun talking to you guys. I haven't been animating. Alright, I'm all good. What hand pose do I even want here? I want like, I guess like that. Yes, so I do it in negative frames. So I draw in the negative values. Right. Would that help? I mean, I know that it would be outside of timeline, which is kind of nice for organization, but like, would that actually help with the whole, because like really what I want is if I want to draw a new frame here, I want to draw it here. You know, I don't want to have to go back to the end of the group of keyframes that I've drawn and draw a new frame there. Um, I've started to make 2D cartoons showing grease pencil, and it takes so much time. I'll probably take a year to make. Yeah, yeah. I'm so glad. I'm glad that you're making something cool. But yeah, no, animation is just it just takes a lot of time, doesn't it? Um, I think after I make this tutorial, I kind of want to do something similar. I haven't fully committed yet, but I don't know. I just feel like there are two ways you can contribute to the grease pencil community, and that's either making content to help other people make stuff, like tutorials or add-ons, and then there's like actually making a project, and I think that's what I want to do next. Mm. some reason I'm really struggling with this hand pose. Alright, here we go. Well, I've missed quite a few things. Yeah. So how am I getting it to save my adjustments? Yeah. So just down here, I've turned on automatic keyframing, and so if I move it in edit mode, if I sculpt it in sculpt mode, then it'll automatically create a duplicate keyframe, and then all my changes will just be on that frame. Yeah. So just like Juraj Mukha is saying. What is the best way to rig hair in grease pencil? I guess it just depends on the type of hair, you know, how the style that it's in, you know, the is it down, is it in a plait, is it, you know, it kind of all depends on all those things. But you know, I just approach it the same way as I approach anything, you know, just try and think about what needs to deform. Does it need to deform? Maybe if you're going with a simpler character, maybe just have one bone that controls the entire hair grease pencil object, and then just use sculpt mode and edit mode and redrawing the grease pencil thing to get it to move as you want it. Is it a setting independent of the dope sheet, or is it located on the timeline editor? Yeah, it's located on the timeline. So you can see down here, I've got the timeline window. I just have it collapsed way down the bottom. It's just turned on there. Brazilian Dutchie, nice to have you here. Alright, here we go. Oh, I've That's not the best hand pose, but it'll do. That pose doesn't look so good with the silhouette. I'm gonna do it more like that. So I ended up, so it enabled me to draw in the frame I was in. Then I copied it to the negative frame. Ah, that was empty. Then I enabled the modifier and it worked. Okay. Yeah, actually that might work. Yes. Alright, I need to do some experiments. I love how occasionally we just hear a faint vroom from your road. Yeah, I think one of my neighbors is a mechanic. He likes to test drive the cars really fast. Fun bit of trivia about the dope sheet. Did you know how there are filtering settings in the header of the dope sheet, right? Turns out those filtering options apply to the timeline and other editors too. I did not know that. I knew about the filtering thing, but that's really cool. Not the perfect solution, but it worked. Yeah, I see what you mean. I think perhaps if I was rigging this character again, I might approach the hands, at least the hands, like that. However, yeah, I'm probably going to leave it for now. But yeah, I still think a better solution would be that, like, the Toon Boom solution, where you have, like, a library of drawings, and then the timeline is just saying, hey, on this frame, use that drawing. On this frame, use that drawing. And then you can just easily create a new one whenever you want. So you can filter visibility of your keyframes by specific collection, for example. Let me do that. How do I... Oh, I see. So, do I see? Maybe I don't see. How do I filter? This is the filter. Okay, and I'll do a search. I guess if I search for character crease pencil, can I also filter it so it's if I have selected yes, and then I get rid of that. Uh-oh. Okay, now it's only showing me what I've selected. I want to undo that. I want to go all. I'm going to turn off meshes. That'll be helpful. and cameras. That will also be helpful. Alright, I'll probably leave that for now. Yeah, now I can only select the things that I would want to be able to select. That's really nice. Okay. Ah, I see. Alright, that's cool. Oh, and then that's the collection. There we go. That's what I want. Alright, let me turn off. Let me re-enable these. So that now, when I select everything, even though it's selected everything, there's no meshes in here, right? Yeah. Or actually, I guess they don't have keyframes. Aha, lovely. So they have keyframes on here now, but not on the one I filtered it. So it didn't seem to carry over from the various different editors, because I've got two Dobesheet editors open, and it only applied to one of them. But that's still super helpful. Oh, Finn, thank you. I appreciate it. Can I? Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I do really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Juraj Mucha. I really appreciate it. Sorry about that pronunciation. Right. Alright, let's try and do some more poses. Not happy about... Ooh. Not happy about this. Let me just... Hi, buddy. I wanted to be the first one. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate it, Finn. Hello, but reference. Nice to have you here. You actually pronounced my surname right. I'm glad. I just I just assumed it was the same as Alphonse Mucha. I'm certain that I got your first name wrong though. Yeah, it's actually the same. It is the same pronunciation. Just a coincidence, though. Not related to that famous bloodline. Oh, yeah. KBR. Oh my goodness, that's I really appreciate it. Um, yeah, I'm gonna do a little heart there. I don't know. I feel now. I feel like my I got to do a good job at streaming. No, I do appreciate it though. I do. Oh, I got the wrong frame. Hang on, let me try that again. So be there. Yeah, it'll be there. There we go. I've been one upped. Yeah, exactly. Well, quite. That was huge. Now the pressure's on. Yeah, exactly. You're doing great. No pressure. For real. Yeah, no, I do appreciate it. KRB. Kirby, probably. Is that how you say your name? I would go as far as to say you are the best 2D cutout Blender grease pencil YouTube streamer from New Zealand out there. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. It's a very competitive field. Sarah, here's here's money. Here's the money for dinner the other day. Thanks, Sarah. I appreciate it. Though, is that YouTube's gonna take a big cut of that. You should have just done the usual. But no, it's all good. Just KRB. Kirby sound is kind of cool too. I'll call you KRB. Um, the stream is very profitable. That's true. Basically a tip to YouTube. Yeah. But no, I do appreciate it. This is missed a lot of stuff. Um, Genie TV, nice to have you here. Um, the usual, oh my. Oh, nice. Yeah, nice to have you around, Mr. Mucha. Uh, you missed Savello's message about the whistling, or what did they say? How much to stop you whistling? Sorry. I'll stop. Um, wait, I'm gonna change accounts. Hi Finn, nice to have you. Nice to have you here again. In a different form. Junie. Well, now there's two McFamilians in chat. Uh, I'm the better one. Far more handsome and funny than that other loser. Totally. Absolutely. Okay, gotta go. Would like to get back to you on the Toon Boom image gallery problem on Discord though. So if you remember and want to chat about it, just write you know where. Yeah, exactly. All right. I think I will. I think after the stream, I'm gonna see if anyone has a solution or if there's an add-on anywhere. Because I'm thinking if Blender's intending to add that as a feature, surely there might be an add-on. Um, right. Oh, no, that looks bad. The animations process seems to take longer when you're using when you when you're using your other puppet light rigs. Yes. Perhaps having people talk to you might also slow the process. I think today that is it. I kind of woke up, made myself a cup of tea, and started live streaming, and so I've been a bit distractible and a bit slower than I could have been. However, yes, I think it is slightly slower than my more traditional puppet like rigs, but the difference is that the reason this is slower is because it's less limited. So like I just wouldn't have a character that can turn around like this and have a piece of chalk in their hand and that sort of thing. They just couldn't do it. So whatever animation they could do would be faster, but then I wouldn't be able to do a whole lot of stuff. Whereas with this character, yes, I've been slower because I've also been distractible, but it's also a little bit slower just because, well, I'm able to do more things, like have him turn around and write on a chalkboard. How did you add the audio? That's actually pretty easy. If I just right click on this and I go join down. Okay. Oh, I should join that down as well. Okay. So if you just right click on here and say horizontal split, and you make a new window and set it to the video sequence editor, you can see I've added the audio here. And so you can just press Shift A, sound, and then find your audio and import it. And then it'll just come in and you can edit how loud it is and even offset it a little bit. Yeah, you got all sorts of effects you can add and the like. But then you just can collapse that down. Let me just, yeah, there we go. And then you'll want to make sure that audio scrubbing is turned on, and also under playback, also just sync to audio so that the animation is synced to the audio properly. So is it a balance between frame by frame and rigged animation? Is this how you all animated Bad Jelly? Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like I think what made this concept really click for me was when I was watching a show on TVNZ called Smarty Pants, and I was really surprised how simple the rigging was. Like, for example, you'd have an entire arm was just one object that would rotate and move around, and then you just switch between different drawings as needed. And it looked really good, and clearly the simple rigging took care of like 80 to 90% of the animation. And then the rest was frame by frame, but it didn't take nearly as much work as an actual frame by frame show. And I realized that that's kind of what we were doing on Bad Jelly, though I didn't necessarily realize it or conceptualize it that way at the time. Oh no, I've turned on snapping. Oh my goodness. Uh, Kelly, Sketchy Squirrel, you finally turned on your super chats. Yeah, I did. Thank you so much for giving. I really appreciate it. Give you a little heart thing there. With that trick you showed me yesterday, it's more efficient to overlap the lines and fix them later when you draw. Pretty cool. I know, it's so nice. I think for me it speeds things up because when you're drawing a line, there's so much to think about in the sense of you want it to follow the correct path, you want it to end at the correct point, you want it to start at the correct point, you want it to look smooth, and it's really difficult to get all of that in one. And so by using the trimming tool, um, you can forget about where it starts, you can forget about where it ends, you can just overshoot both sides, and so long as it follows the path and it looks smooth enough, then you can go back later and cut it off, and it's really nice. Oh my goodness, level 99. I appreciate it. This has been kind of overwhelming today with the whole everyone's given me money. I don't need the money, but I do appreciate it, and I yeah. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Oh yeah, let me. It's interesting. Sketchy. Ever since you said Toon Boom was better than Blender for 2D animation, I've been trying to learn it. But auto patches and cutters have been kicking my butt. Yeah, I mean, I love Toon Boom. I don't know. I'm starting to regret saying that. Like, Toon Boom's an amazing tool. You should absolutely learn it. I wish you all the best. Um, but I don't know. I feel like I should have said something along the lines of Toon Boom is really good at what it does. and Blender's really good at what it does. And they're just different enough that there's like room for both of them. But yeah, no. I feel like once you get the hang of, I would, auto patches are actually just secretly a small little node system of cutters. Um, so I would definitely, so I would kind of recommend, just on a little test scene, figuring out how to create your own auto patch, just so that you can kind of understand better what it's doing. And you can do that using the like the line art isolate node and the overlay isolate node and that sort of thing, and the color art isolate node, all those sort of things. They're really, really cool. I noticed you placing your character's legs where it seemed to be more beneficial to have the legs bound to the hips, but with this method, do you always avoid binding or parenting bones? So this is kind of something that I'm just testing out. I did the similar thing on my last project where I did some fan art for Bad Jelly, and basically, it feels. How do I say this? It looks less impressive than using like inverse kinematics, right? Because you can't just move the hips and everything follows correctly. But I actually think it's easier to get better looking animation without like knees popping everywhere, and you can kind of tell that you used IK when you do, at least with 2D. I don't know, and I'm experimenting with this rigging method where I don't have the legs always bound to the hips and the ankles. Um, Sketchy on his way to being a billionaire today. Yeah, exactly. I've been a bit very overwhelming. Um, yeah. How do you get your audio to play as you move frames so you can hear it and create keyframes appropriately? For me, right now, it doesn't play unless I click the play button, which is hard. Which is a hard time. Yeah, just like Lysias is saying, audio scrubbing. If you go to on the timeline, if you go to playback up here, you have to say play audio and audio scrubbing. Just make sure that's ticked, and then it should play as you scrub along. It still won't play as you go frame by frame with the arrow keys. Oh my goodness, Kelly again. Homies still want to see a motion comic tutorial. All right, I'll definitely. All right, maybe that'll be my next one. After this character, I'll do a motion comic tutorial. Yeah, everyone's been so kind today. Okay, thank you, Sketchy Squirrel and Lysias Aurelius. Yeah, no, it's just audio scrubbing. That'll be helpful. All right. Sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name's Mr. My name is Mr. Just gonna select all of these. I think what I'm gonna do, and I should have done this from the beginning, is I'm going to group all the head elements into their own collection within within the sub collection. Alright, is there anything else? Star Show 1. Ears. Alright, and I'm going to go move, new collection, head. Oh, and then I can move the head collection as a sub thing of that. And then I probably want the body as its own collection as well. Okay, whoa. The character would make a great. This character would make a great motion comic. Yeah, I guess so. I think with if I was doing motion comics, I'd probably want to do. Uh, in a couple videos ago, I did a video where I drew a character in Critter, and then I did a really simple animation in Rig in in Blender, and I think that would be a more motion comic kind of thing. So I think that's probably the route I'll go down. Rigging in Blender is way easier than Toon Boom. I think they have their advantages and disadvantages. I think when you get the hang of it, you can definitely get a lot done with Toon Boom. All right. Oh, Kelly again. But Blender has no Toon Boom shading without grease pencil. Sorry. But Blender has no real toon shading without grease pencil. Yeah, I guess so. I think that's what really great about grease pencil. Have you seen Blender Studio's recent cowboy animation where they tried to really quickly create a 3D character with like a toon shader, and then they developed a tool to make it really easy to just draw on top using grease pencil so that they could fix any shading issues. Hello, Bitter Biscuits. Nice to have you here. Oh, and I missed Lysius's message. Or collab with Myra. Yes, I should do that. I still need to reach out to her, so I'll probably do that after stream today. Harmony has a node-based rigging system. Yes, it does, and I love it. I love it so much. It's so logical. I don't know, it just makes a lot of sense. Perfect for problem solving. Yeah, no worries, Kelly. Yeah, it's a good little project that they're doing there. I think it's cool. All right. Right, I was separating things into their different elements. Let's just... Should I do the arms separately? Yeah, I think I will. So I need arm 1, forearm 1, hand 1. There we go. I'll set that to arm 1. Arm 2, forearm 2, hand 2. Foot 1, shin 1, thigh 1. Put that into leg 1. Foot 2, shin 2, thigh 2. Leg 2. Oh. Then what's this? Then what's that? That's just the version that's under the character. Right? Yeah. Oh, that should be called Brow 2, not Brow 1.001. No, I haven't seen it, but oh yes, I read that already. Do you have a downloadable rig on your channel? I have a couple, not many, but a couple. There's one, I think it's called Animate with Blender or something, or Cutout Animation with Blender, and it's that one where I did like a tiger character, and in the description of that, there's the rig is downloadable. Also, if you go to my add-on that I made, the GitHub page has some rigs in there that like demonstrate how I used it. Haha, I just started watching the recording of your last stream, and then you said you started streaming at 10:30, and then I thought I should check. Well, yeah, nice. That's nice to have you. Lysius was just reminding me to reach out to you, so we can do a little collab. So I'm gonna reach out to you after the stream. You might be, it's late in Germany, so no need to respond right away. No worries, bitter biscuits. Sketchy, what do you think of making a tutorial where you make a character with Blender Grease Pencil, save it as a vector, bring it into Toon Boom, and rig it there to do an animation? That's an interesting concept. I mean, I would need to do some testing to know for sure, but I have a few concerns. One is that Grease Pencil doesn't do vectors in the same way that a lot of other software does. So like most software, you'll have like 2 points, and then there's like a curve between them, and that's what makes it a vector Bezier curve, right? Grease Pencil doesn't really do that. It just kind of has a bunch of points with straight lines between them. Now that's still a vector line, but it just doesn't save the information in the same way that like Adobe Illustrator or Inkscape would, you know? And so I'm not convinced that Toon Boom would import it very well. And then my other concern is just the practicalities of it. Like, Toon Boom has some great drawing tools inbuilt. So why would you draw in Grease Pencil and then import it when you've got great drawing tools in Toon Boom? What I could do though is like a comparison video where I talk about the different the different pros and cons of Grease Pencil and Toon Boom. Sketchy, why is there an all black and white version of your character behind the colored guy? So that's just the sketch. So if I just disable this, you can see I've kind of animated a very rough version of the animation. Hello class, I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name is Mr. You can do that. Hello class. And so that's just to help me get the poses right. Oh no, hang on. What happened to his arm? Oh, I've disabled the collection. There we go. Right, there we go. Everything is in its proper place now. That's going to be very helpful, actually. All right. If I'm being honest, I don't like 2D rigs that much. I prefer drawing frame by frame. That's fair enough, honestly. I think it's just very different, isn't it? Doing cutout animation compared to frame by frame. Like obviously, there's a lot of shared fundamental knowledge of just animation's animation, no matter what medium you're using. But personally, I really like the problem solving and the creative ways of thinking you have to use to get a rig to do what you want it to. I really like, and also just the way that it moves, and I really like it. Sorry. Lysias, animatic or rough animation. Yeah, that's exactly right. Sketchy, do you think that's why Toon Boom is so clear and crisp with vector animations with no loss in quality? Yeah, so I think you can draw with raster layers in Toon Boom, though I never really did much of that. Uh, it's mostly vector art. I'd say most of the rigs are vectors, so that's why it's so crisp. Sketchy, do you think that but Blender when you zoom in, you can see the fake toon shadeness on the 3D character. I don't know if I necessarily know what you mean, because if you zoom in Blender, I mean, okay, so with vector art, you're never gonna get like pixels, but you're always gonna have limited detail, right? Like if you zoom in far enough, there's gonna be just the shapes will get bigger and they'll just be large flat colors, and I think it'd be the same with Blender, unless like you're saying like you can see the polygons of a 3D mesh when you zoom in. But if that's the case, that's just the reality of using a 3D mesh rather than a 2D drawing. Drawing frame by frame is just traditional, and I can also sneak in goofy smear frames. Yeah, I love smear frames. I think you can do smear frames with cutout animation. I did a lot of that on Bad Jelly. I really enjoyed it. But also bless you because you sneezed. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I think traditional animation's a lot of fun. I think I just prefer cutout, but I can totally understand why you'd prefer frame by frame. Jorgen Animate says, bless you, thank you. Gizentight from level 99, appreciate it. Whoa, that's not right. Hello class, I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name's Mr. Right, here we go. I'm going to select all the head bones, and I'm going to select all the grease pencil objects for the head, and then I'm going to select the side view here. I'm going to duplicate it and bring it where it's meant to be. There we go. Starting to get a hang of this process. Oh no, my camera froze. Allergies? Yeah, I think maybe it's summer here, so there's a little bit of pollen in the air. I'm working on a short film about cats right now. Cool, love cats. I'm trying to animate my rig, but when I put in a keyframe, it resets to a previous pose I made. It's frustrating, but I don't have the patience to do a frame by frame animation. Are you sure that you have do you have auto keyframing on? It's down here on the timeline, and it says auto keying. Or unless you're using another software, in which case I might have a different sort of auto keying feature. Because I know that in Blender, when you have when you pose a rig and it doesn't keyframe it, then it will. If it doesn't keyframe it, then when you go to a new frame, it'll just discard all of that new pose. Hang on, let me just try and get my camera fixed. Alright, there we go. Just need to turn it off and on again. Also, you're blocking the animation out right now, right? Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm just doing the key poses, and then I'm going to go through and do the breakdown poses and in-betweens and that sort of thing. I've watched you animate with your grease pencil rigs, and it's quite a different process. It is quite different. I'm definitely going to still use like the graph editor and such, but probably a little less than I used to. I would animate, in the past, I would animate my grease pencil rigs as if they were a 3D character. And I think there's some benefits to that, and I think it looks cool. But I'm just experimenting with a more Toon Boom style of animation and rigging. I might end up finding some sort of in-between, but right now I'm just trying to push this method as far as possible. So crazy to hear you say it's summer now while I'm looking out at snow. Yeah. I don't know what the weather is today, but it's been quite hot lately. Yeah, my camera, it was frozen. I think I fixed it now. Uh, yes, I turned it on before when you mentioned it. It will key a frame, then when I move it forward, it resets back to the previous pose. That's really odd. I don't know why it would do that. So it's turned on. If you click on the little drop down menu beside keying, does it have like what's layered recording? Maybe make sure that it doesn't have only active keying set checked, because if it does, it might be only adding keyframes to channels that already have keyframes on them, in which case you either have to uncheck that or make sure there's a keyframe on all the bones. I used to use FlipperClip for hand-drawn animation, but FlipperClip is turning into a cash grab for the makers. Ah, that's a shame. I use Blender now. I never knew it could be so good. I know. I was always surprised how good it is. Like how I was surprised how good it is at frame by frame animation. Because like in my mind, I think, okay, it's a reasonably good drawing tool, but really its gimmick is that it's in a 3D space, you know. But then I've seen more and more people just go, oh, we're gonna just do some basic 2D animation. Let's open up Blender. You know, like Marco Bucci, who does like painting tutorials. He did a video on frame by frame animation, and he was like, we're doing it in Blender, and I thought that's a bit strange. And then same thing with if you go to SPA Animation, they made Klaus, and on their YouTube channel they have a bunch of animation tutorials, and they use grease pencil just because it's a great frame by frame animation tool. I remember Flipper Clip. Yeah, is a good tool. I love Marco Bucci. Yeah, he makes some really good videos. Um, his 10 Minutes of Better Painting series is a lifesaver. It's great. Um, I used to use Anaboom, lol, which was black and white only, and you had to use pre-made shapes to create a scene. Wow, that actually sounds kind of fun to have those limitations. Like it could be quite creative. Not super good for creating like professional animations, but you know that sounds actually pretty good for like a little fun study or a creative sketch of an animation kind of session sort of thing. I don't know. I love Makabuchi too. Yeah, he's great. Why wouldn't the limbs be bound to the torso? So it just gives me a little bit more freedom. It looks. I mean, I think basically the philosophy here is, for this rig at least, and I might alter things in the future, but for this rig, it's definitely there's a philosophy of I'd rather spend an extra moment to get the pose right, um, but have the freedom to make the pose exactly how I want it. Um, yeah. Whereas in my previous style of rigging, you know, everything would be locked in place and would, you know, all the limbs would react as I move the torso, and it would mean that I could get a pretty good pose in moments, but if I wanted it to be exactly how I wanted, it might take a bit of time. I'm animating myself right now. That's fun. Mm. I forget what the color's meant to be. Right, okay. There we go. Are you using a custom brush to draw this, or are you using a default brush? I experimented with a textured brush, but I actually preferred just the default really clean line for this character at least. So yeah, I'm just using a default brush. Sketchy. Even when I try to animate my 3D characters in IK directly from a video reference, it still ends up looking like crappy mocap. Yeah, I see what I kind of know what you mean. In the sense that you put a lot of effort into like getting almost every frame right, you know. And so what I would recommend is where you've taken it from, where it feels bad right now, open up the graph editor and starting from the center of gravity, so like the middle of the torso, look at the curves and try and smooth them out. You know, try and delete keyframes while retaining the same general movement, and exaggerate the easing in and easing out, that sort of thing. And it'll start to slowly feel more stylized, and then you can just work your way out from the center of gravity to all of the limbs and the legs and such. And that I've found that is helpful. Would you ever throw in smears? Absolutely, and I think this new technique of this new rigging method is definitely going to be helpful for adding smear frames. Um, it's just that's going to be the last thing that I do. So like once most of the animation's done, I'll then decide if and when to add the smears. Uh, you lose some of the smooth actions when jumping between angles. Yeah, but I think that's kind of the trade-off of being able to have different angles. You know, it's like in previous I've had Blender tutorials where I've shown how to rig a character that can smoothly have a head turn that goes from here to about here, which is great. But I think what I really like about this character is it allows me to quickly create a rig that can have a lot of flexibility and freedom in this area, a lot of flexibility and freedom in this area, a lot of flexibility, etc., all the way around, and then I've got like I can, yes, it'll snap between poses, but honestly, I think it looks good, um, and it only snaps because it's going further than I could otherwise, you know. Uh, Hi, first time here. What's going on? Hi, Gavi. It's we're animating in Blender Grease Pencil. So I'll show you what our animatic looks like so far. If I just disable the character. Hello class. I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name's Mr. Oh, let me do that. So it's just a simple animation there, and then I've got the character, the actual rig here that's slowly coming along. So sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name's Mr. Oh, let me do that. Yeah. All right. Go back to solid view. Neck crunching is surely a bad habit. Um, yeah, I need to have better posture. Um, I just realized we're not going to see his shoes. Yeah, no, the way I've framed it, we're not going to see his shoes. Uh, this looks awesome. Thanks, Gabby. I appreciate it. Hey, am I still good to come over this afternoon? Um, and looks like level 99 is gonna allow it, but depends what time, cause I'm gonna go to life drawing at like 5. So if you get off work early today, yeah. So if that's the case, then sure. Alright. Hello class, I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name's Mr. You can do that. Hello class, I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name's Mr. You can do that. Hello class, I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? Lysius says, I thought Zara was asking me. That would be quite the commute. Did say I think I'll be quicker than that. Alright. The volume seems lower than it was yesterday. Hang on, let me. Do you mean my microphone or do you mean my the desktop audio? Because I can turn that up a little bit. I actually no, I think it might be lower because I re-recorded the audio because at the end yesterday he's just said, "Oi, who threw that?" And now he's got this whole like spiel. Hello class, I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name Just a little short thing. Yeah, I think it's because they re-recorded it. Let me just turn up my desktop audio. Sketchy, is your sister an artist too? What are the major cities in New Zealand? Zara loves doing arts and crafts and the like, but I don't believe she considers herself an artist. However, you know, the major cities, really, there's just Auckland. I mean, you've got Christchurch and you've got Wellington as well, and Dunedin. Um, but really, you got the whole population of New Zealand is about 5 million people, and then Auckland has 1 million people, or even more. So it's really everyone's in Auckland. Bitter biscuits. Are you British? No, I'm not British. I'm New Zealandish. Kia ora. Um, 1.7 million. Oh my goodness, really? Um, will you lip sync this, or are you just gonna do mustache movement? I haven't decided yet. Um, I, yeah, it's I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know yet. New Zealandish, so kind of British, right? Or kind of Australian. Uh, I guess technically we are a British colony, um, but we're not like part of Britain in the same way that like Wales or Scotland is, you know. um, yeah, I don't mind being compared to Australians too much, but you got to be careful. Some people will take offense. Yeah. Hang on, I'm just gonna adjust the animation on this guy so that it's all in front. There we go. So now I'll actually get hit in the head there. Oh, it didn't actually work. Hang on. The whole of the South Island is only 1.2 million. Yeah, exactly. It's like you've got 1.7 million in one city and then 1.2 million in the entire South Island. And the South Island contains the second biggest city. So it's crazy how concentrated New Zealand is in Auckland. Me too. Step up, step up, step up. I'm just gonna now try and do a bit of a interpolation here. Hey, that works really well. Nice. Uh-oh. It's okay. At Sketchy Squirrel, did you ever work on a project that you didn't actually like or wouldn't watch yourself, but did it because it was part of the job? Um, that's a tricky question because, hmm, I've kind of fallen in love with like the craft of animation. Um, so in a sense that there's a lot of the projects that I really enjoyed working on that the actual end product didn't mean much to me. For example, while I was working at Muck Putty, um, we'd kind of finished a lot of our work with Bad Jelly, and so they got us to help out on another project they were doing, which was an ad for a like uh, I forget the name, like a mobile service, like for your phone, for your data and internet and calls and such. And it was just an advert. It wasn't really that interesting to me. I definitely didn't sign up for the service, but I really enjoyed working on it. Um, so yeah, I think that's probably the closest thing. I guess. Well, no, actually, after I lost my job at Makpari, I also worked on I did a freelance job, which was really painful because the client wanted my work to match stylistically with something that they had already had done, and what they had done was objectively bad. Like it looked really bad. So I really struggled with that one because I had to purposefully make it look bad. Um, yeah. So I didn't necessarily like working on that one. But then I was able to have a little bit more fun with the actual animation process, which was okay. Let me take this now. Let's get started, shall we? My name's Mr. do that? Hello, Mr. Oh, I feel that often those kind of customers are then even very nitpicky with the better stuff we create. Yeah, actually, I didn't get to. I didn't. Fortunately, I didn't have to deal with a lot of this. But on that project, actually, maybe I shouldn't say. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. But yeah, there was some issues with yeah how nitpicky, and some clients can be very nitpicky and yet also not know what they want. That's all I'll say. How bad was it? Like the colors of the drawing itself was terrible. It just every aspect. The colors were muddy. The lines were really thick and just didn't look any good. The proportions of the characters were like it looked like they were trying to go for realistic proportions and they just failed miserably. It yeah, it was just bad. Oh hi Sidon. Nice to see you here. I've been following your streams. Been yeah, nice. 100%. I worry I might currently have someone like that on my hands. Sadly, that's often happens with people who want portraits done. Yeah, I feel like at least that sounds like a shorter project. Like I guess any project's gonna be long if you got a nitpicky enough client. Um, I guess that's just why you gotta be careful about the way you have like your contracts. You know, gotta have if you want more changes, you gotta pay more money. That sort of thing. Um, yeah. Mr. 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 What you working on today? I'm making a little animation with this character that I've built in Blender. If you let's have a look. Let's have a look at what I got so far. Hello class, I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name's Mr. Who threw that? Hello class. Still pretty early on in the blocking stuff, but I'm getting some actual animation here with the with this part. Oh no. That doesn't look right. Oh yeah, I've got the wrong... Oh, that's so annoying. I copied the wrong face. Right, it shouldn't be too bad though. I just need to... If that's that, that's the frame I want. Yeah, there we go. Mr. That's really odd. Alright, just gonna use sculpt mode. We do that. My name is Mr. We do that. Mr. We do that. Hello, Clark. My name is Mr. 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 Oh, that's why it feels jumpy. They're not on twos properly. Okay, I need to fix this. Hang on. Yeah, it's on threes in parts. Okay, I need to fix this. What was I thinking? That'll look smoother. Alright. I might adjust it later, but I'm pretty happy with this section for now. I'm going to just do this part at the end where he asks who threw that. And then I'm probably going to end the stream. No. Yeah, I've really enjoyed streaming over the last few days or last week or so. I'm gonna definitely keep doing it. At least we got an extra hour today. Yeah, that's kind of why I started an hour early. I was like, I want to go longer, but oh yeah, Myra, I'll definitely I'll show off the progress before I finish.
Hello class, I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name
All right, I think that's it.
is Mr.
Let me just check.
Who threw that?
All right, let's go into render view, and I'm gonna hide the the rough animation. All right, here we go.
Hello class, I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name is Mr. Who threw that?
Yeah,
Hello class, I'm so sorry.
pretty happy with that.
Let's get started, shall we? My name is Mr.
Let me just.
Who threw that? Hello class, I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name is Mr. Who threw that?
All right, we're slowly getting there.
Sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name is Mr. Who threw that?
All right, I reckon that's it for today. thank you everyone who tuned in for watching. Yeah, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow. All right, goodbye.